Guys, I'm about to get in this country coach with a guy that has a ton of knowledge here. This is a video you guys are going to want to watch because Brian is going to share so much knowledge with us. Brian, what's going on, bud?
Just enjoying a beautiful day here in the Willamette Valley. Ready to go over, maybe drain the tanks, go over the old country coach facilities, use the old dump stations.
So right now we're here at Premier RV. Is my car okay right there for a little bit? Or?
Yes, it's just fine.
Facility next door is owned by Winnebago, and this used to all be country coach at one point, or what's going on, man?
Yeah, I mean, this at one point all became country coach after Monaco had moved out to Holberg, and then country coach, one of the guys that owned it at the time, bought this property and then leased it to country coach, and they ended up turning it into one of their manufacturing facilities and using it for wall lamination and some fiberglass cutting and prepping and whatnot. And so now it's Premier RV Sales of Oregon.
Yeah, we'll keep this video talking just about this facility here, and Brian's going to share kind of some of the history of what and shed some light on what's going on out here in Oregon. There's all kinds of different stories. Winnebago bought the country coach facility, or bought country coach, or what happened there? You want to clarify all that for everybody?
So Ron Lee owned all of the intellectual property, and him and his brother had divided up the country coach property itself, and he had it, and then he ended up selling it all to Winnebago, and they came out here and built coaches, the Grand Tour and the Horizon, for a couple of years. It wasn't really profitable because they weren't putting the efforts into it. Maybe, who's to say? Might be a matter of opinion. And so then they ended up leaving, and so now
is that where we're going?
That's where we're at right now.
This is it.
You can see that's the old sign out there at the street that was country coach, then Winnebago, and now Winnebago's on the road out of here.
So this was at one point Monaco, or?
No, this has always been country coach. So the property where we just came from is the only little sliver that was actually ever Monaco.
Okay, and country coach bought that out.
So Lee and some people created all this, and this is the country coach property.
So do you have permission to be using their dump station right now, or do I need to edit this out?
I figure since I bought $12,000 worth of Winnebago Grand Tour parts from them, that I'm pretty much a customer, I would say. And it does say country coach, and that's who really put this all in originally. So I don't think it really costed anybody money.
Oh, it says now for public use reserved for our customers. So you are a customer.
Yeah, I would still feel I'm a customer. I mean,
yes, okay. So now this is all loaded up. Now I was here a few weeks ago, and there was actually little Winnebago trucks running around, like one little Winnebago truck and like a few chassis sitting out front here. Let's go walk around outside. This is the old country coach facility that Winnebago bought, and now it's for sale. And man, I wish we could get inside of there, buddy. You know anybody around here that might be able to get us inside there? Or?
Well, we're hoping that I might be able to make a couple phone calls during the week and get us some keys, but I can't guarantee anything. They may not want anybody running around and showing what the great facility is that they have for sale. I mean, maybe somebody wants to get up a bunch of money and start building motorhomes here again. Well, the opportunity's here. So
yeah, this is it. So this is Brian's absolutely stunning 1996 country coach Intrigue. This is going to be a whole nother video. I don't know if Brian wants me telling everybody, but he actually bought this coach for $7,000. That's going to be an entirely different video, but let's see if I can get you guys a peek here. All right, so it's all barbed wire out here. The corporate offices. Dude, you think I'm all right to walk around, or you think?
No, I wouldn't say any problem with it.
I don't know. It says it's for sale, and honestly, I mean, I don't know how much. It might be out of my budget, but dude, you know, you never know. I might be able to put some investors together. I think there's some people watching this that might have some deep pockets out there. So I think Brian wants to build some coaches. You want to build some new coaches, Brian?
Oh man, I'd love to build coaches. It's very fulfilling when you're building coaches and you watch them roll out the door and you see one on the freeway and you're like, yeah, me and all these guys, we did it all, build that whole thing. It's pretty neat.
So what's that building over there?
So that would have been human resources, where everybody applied and you went through all your initial paperwork and everything. And then that building right there behind it would have been the training facility. And we had some horseshoe pits out here for breaks and whatnot.
Crazy. I just gotta kind of show you guys how, like, just to give you perspective. I mean, those are pretty good sized buildings. I don't know, you know, there's big trees.
Look at the old country coach emblems in the bases.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. This is a trip. Wow. So this used to be the training facility over here, and then country coach. And then that was human resources over there. And I've always been a big fan of Winnebago. I actually supported when they bought Newmar. I made some videos kind of in support of that whole deal. So hopefully Winnebago's not mad at us for walking around showing their property, or, you know, checking it out here. So this was HR, huh?
Yeah, this would have been the HR department. And then I brought you up here because of an American flag that used to always be here. It's one of those monsters like you see on the freeway, 16 by 20.
Oh, wow.
So this would be for recognition, appreciation of Bob Lee. They used to fly a flag, one of those big old monsters that you see, at 16 plus footer.
Whoa.
With full magnets, and we got the plaque right here.
Bob Lee, founder, visionary, leadership, and friend, country coach. Pretty, this is like some RV history here, guys. So it's saying it's a 192,000 square foot manufacturing facility on 33 acres. So do you know how many square feet the premier facility is?
No, I don't. That's a number for Gary.
Can we walk over here and just kind of see from that side, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's no signs that say no trespassing by any means.
No, it says available. That's what I'm talking about. We got some guys that want to build some motorhomes.
I mean, what kind of real estate push is this? I mean, it's perfect. Anybody that's trying to sell something would ask for this. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Client and tour parking. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but these are huge trees, buddy. How old are these trees here, do you think, man?
Well, I'd assume they probably got built right around the time of this building, which is, I think, 25 years old or something like that. So there are probably some old ones like you had going down River Road that one day there on the
trip here, guys. You can still kind of see. I don't know if this GoPro's picking it up. I'm gonna take a couple pictures with this other cam. Oh shoot, I'm dropping my phone here, guys, just to try to get you guys this content. I don't know if you can see. So this is pretty cool here. Another plaque. It seems like people were really, just a lot of respect for Bob Lee here. Looks like some kind of spider webs and
might need a pressure washer.
Yeah. What was this building right here? This looks like corporate. This is
this would have been corporate office,
where the suits were hanging out. The guys making the big money.
Absolutely. Yeah, they all had a look down on the parking lot. You know, you had all the other office people in the bottom. But a lot of purchasing was in this building. Not too many engineers. Most engineers were across the street in the other building, or over in the other building that now Premier RV Sales has. And then this would have been the end. Would have been building one, where all the tributes and inspires were built. Directly across the street would have been what we call building 2. That's where the cabinet shop was, and all the allures and intrigues. And then Premier RV Sales of Oregon would have been building 10, where all Magnus and Affinities and the Rhapsodies at the very end were being built.
Wow, this is a trip. So this just goes back like so far. Now, if we cruise along that, you know what?
We can get clear back to building 8.
All right, guys, I'm in sandals right now, in flip-flops, going through this to get you guys RV history here, guys. Please throw me a like if you appreciate me putting in work to try to get you guys the best RV stories out there. So we're walking on railroad tracks here. This is probably kind of dangerous, or is this dangerous, buddy? Are we not supposed to be here?
Well, they always hit a horn when they come through town at 55 in Junction City. I mean, we're not on our stroll or walk, or I think we'll be all right. We're still young. We can hop from one side to the other. But yeah.
Guys, we're not only are we, you know, borderline trespassing. We're taking a risk here to get you guys this RV content. This over here is all building 1 over here. So what was going on over here?
So building 1 was where all the Inspires and Tributes were built. They came in as a chassis in this end pretty much, and by the time they came out those doors, they were all done. And then this next area up here is where they used to stage a lot of all the fiberglass molds and everything.
Huge facility, so 33 acres. And did I already ask you how many acres Premier is? Did you know? Or
I don't know. I know that it's 1,000 feet deep by a couple hundred feet wide. So that's another large building.
We're actually getting a little bit of a workout here just to see what's going on. What's this next building here, bud?
So this would have been where they made all the fiberglass caps and the roofs and made all the fiberglass components. And this field area here would have been where all the molds were sat. And then they came out of there. When Winnebago had it, they converted it over into receiving. And so it's got 2 docks right there for receiving all the parts in that they got from Iowa or throughout the country. And then they could distribute them to the plant from that location there.
Can't believe how deep this goes. Just so many facilities. So what's going on here, bud?
So we finally made it back to, if I remember correctly, what would have been building 8. And this is where Country Coach would have built all their chassis. The front axles, rear ends, engines, and everything would come into this building, and they would get put into rails, and the monocoque chassis would be created and all that in that building there. That building is what Winnebago used to build the Horizon and the Grand Tours when they were here also. They used that as a manufacturing plant.
So that's the end of it there?
Yep, that's the end of the property right there.
Good deal. Cruise over to Premier here, and then we'll show you the rest of the campus here, but this is just a start. So this is building 8, you said, or?
Yep.
Building 8. So cool. We'll and then we'll film this from the other side too. We can actually go in and get a film from the other side. So that back there is Premier RV. You can see where that Country Coach is there, and there's a fence in between them there. What's all this stuff that's like sticking out there?
That'd be the compressors. That big tank that's under those 2 covers would be air accumulation tanks for all the paint. Because all those exhausts on the roof, those indicate a paint booth. So you've got, it looks like 8 paint booths that are still inside of there.
What's going on over here? Is this still owned by Winnebago, or who owns this now?
It is owned by Winnebago, and there's people that are trying to buy the intellectual property from them right now, and they're trying to sell the property, and they're just moving out more. You can see we got a big old 30-yard dumpster here, whatever size it is, and another one down there, getting rid of pallets and whatever it be. These are all these orange things are all 2000 and newer Country Coach molds for front caps, rear caps, skirts, whatever it be.
Really? So these are the molds?
At one point Winnebago a year ago threw away every mold that was 2000 and older. And so anything you see here would be 2000 and newer molds for making front caps and rear caps. As you can see, this one over here to the left is the lower cap section of probably like a Concept or something like that. We might be able to find some abbreviations on it and be able to know actually.
Oh, this is pretty cool. So this is a lower cap here?
Yeah. Looks like maybe a Concept, but Concepts weren't from 2000 and newer, so it couldn't be. It'd have to be something 2000 and newer.
Huh. So these are all front and rear caps. All kinds of them too.
We assume there's a couple acres worth of them that you would have to store, because it goes around the back side of the building too. And if you look on Google Maps, you can actually see them.
Really? All the fiberglass shells?
Yeah, all the molds. If you go to Google Maps, you can see all the orange molds.
So how long have all those orange molds been sitting back there?
Well, they got moved to there when Winnebago took over in 16 or so. Before that, they were out by Building 8 in the very back corner of the property, and they would just sit there until somebody made a phone call and said they had a wrecked this or that model, and they would dig it out, clean it, prep it, make a piece off of it, send it out to the customer, and then throw it back into the graveyard there and wait for it to sit around until somebody needed another one. And,
so Winnebago's been moving out of this property now. When was the news broken that they were moving out?
Oh, I want to say it was about 6 weeks ago is when they had announced that they were leaving, and when they pulled the sign off there at the street and made it say just Junction City.
Oh,
Oregon.
so there was a Winnebago sign there?
Yep, they've taken down the Country Coach and put Winnebago right there.
We'll have to get a picture of that as it says Country Coach.
We were coming from the wash bay over there.
Yeah.
Coming over to this building, back to building 2. And this guy came around the corner and nearly dropped the coach over the side. He dropped the rear wheels down there in that ditch.
Oh, really?
He almost fell over. And he didn't even have a CDL, so he wasn't even supposed to be driving a coach. Because when you work for a manufacturer, you have to have a CDL.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big deal. He didn't last much longer after that.
That's where the coach ended up, right down there?
No, he ended up cutting the corner and dropping it off down there in that corner, and that one almost rolled it over with it full of people.
Oh, wow, there's people in it.
Oh, yeah, we were coming back from water test, and while we were at water test, the wood repair girls were in there doing their wood damage repairs from production and everything. And he came across the street thinking he was Mr. Joe Cool, trying to get the ladies in the wood repair department to like him or something. It didn't work out real good for him. It didn't work out real good.
This is going to be what they called Plant 10. Sorry, guys, you guys don't get to see the gate code, but check that view out while I put the gate code in. This is a really cool story. I've done some more videos with these guys. If you haven't checked that out, you definitely want to check it out.
And luckily, I have a deal worked out where I get to store my coach here.
Nice.
In a breezeway out of the sun. It's like you want to store any coach if you want it to last forever.
Can you give us a ride around the property in your motorhome here to kind of show us, show everyone how big Building 10 is?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the very front of the building where sales is, and behind those doors is storage, and there's a wall, and then there's sales coaches all the way lined up down that hall that we've seen in the previous videos.
You guys haven't already seen the video, Brian did a full walkthrough of the only 2016 Country Coach ever made. Definitely a video worth checking out. You'll see more of that showroom in that video.
This small building here off the side of it would have been the paint, where we do any paint repairs we need. Then this would be our receiving area, where all the parts come in and whatnot. And then that door right there on the side is where we pull the majority of the service coaches and sale coaches in and out of the building. So that's
right there
is all full of storage coaches. So those are all Class A diesel pushers packed in there side by side, and end to end as tight as we can get them, so we can give the best price available that there is.
Yeah.
And then as we go around, as we come up here, we'll see a few coaches that are campers that are here for the weekend because they're waiting on their service appointments on Monday, or they've just pulled in today for their service appointment on Monday.
Mooch stocking, free 50 amp like myself, squeezing every free night. I respect it.
Yeah, we'll get you on the other end of that service bill.
Yeah.
You know, part of that labor doesn't cover just the guys out there in the shop. It's got to cover all the overhead for the whole year.
Yeah.
These spaces don't maintain themselves and keep that 50 amp
Good
for free.
looking Tiffin back there.
There's some nice units out here. There is a Tiffin.
Yeah. So what's going on back here in these buildings?
So this building off to your left would be anything short that we have to store. Say it be boats, Class C's, a lot of Airstream trailers in there.
Right on.
Some classic cars. In the very front of this is actually rented out to a local convenience store that's here in the valley, and they use it to store all their cups and whatnot in. And semis come in and drop off all their soda cups and their coffee cups and all that good stuff. They're all stowed in there, and they come and get them as they need to be.
What's going on over here?
So this back here off to the left, there's 2 service bays, and then these 2 are our actual new service or sales base. We've moved everybody down to this end to do the sales now. After we brought in some more technicians, we needed room, so we removed, shuffled things around, and this is where you would actually take delivery of your new coach if you bought one from us, and where we do all of our PDIs.
Cool.
Now we're going to squeeze into this breezeway here. put this thing away in the shade and get it plugged in. Be able to do whatever we need to next.
Is that trailer in the way, or?
It is. I'll get it moved with the forklift.
Oh, okay.
We'll make it simple.
Nice. So this, yeah, here's a service breezeway. Brian must have a little bit of pull around here to be leaving his coach in here. I'm not sure how that works out, but buddy, you mind walking over? Can we walk along the other side of that Winnebago? Let's see what's going on over there. And dude, that's cool. You've got a camera of the inside of your coach. I've never seen that. What's the story with that, dude?
So we do motocross, and I take all my buddies with me. And on our way, we usually leave late after work, and we're cruising along, and all of a sudden it'll be silent in here, and you just wonder who's falling off and who's doing what. Do we need to get the air horn out, wake some people up? So it kind of just gives you a view down the hall, and you don't have to try to get a reflection off the windshield or anything. And if she's holding up A or B soda for you, you got a shot, and you tell her, hey, I want the one in the right hand, and you hope you got it right because of the mirror reflection. And then you hit the screen one time, and then it swaps it back around, and now you got the backup camera view.
Nice. That's cool, dude. Let's go walk around a little more. Check this out. It's a new day here. We are on the other side here. The sun shifted, so now we were over there. That's where the railroad tracks are over there. We're on the up there is going to be the administrative offices. We're in the premier parking lot here, and
behind me would be building 1 that we talked about yesterday. That would have been the Tribute and the Inspire product line, and then down over here would have been the fiberglass in the Country Coach era, and then shipping and receiving in the Winnebago era.
Have a good weekend, man. What'd you get into?
I did. I took an off weekend, no motocross this weekend, but I hung out, did some things around the house. You always got to do that, and then spent the day yesterday washing the motorhome.
Yeah.
And all the awnings and the fabrics and what have you.
Yeah.
Get things dialed in and ready to go actually RVing over at Pacific Shores this weekend for once.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be good.
Brian has so much knowledge. I've been trying to tell him to get a YouTube channel. If you guys could do me a huge favor, if you guys think that you would watch or subscribe to Brian's YouTube channel, he's been in the cut here in RV world for decades and decades, and I think he's got a lot of stories and a lot of great stuff to share. So please do me a favor and drop a comment below. You guys would subscribe to Brian's YouTube channel.
So here we are. We've come across to where that receiving building is, and we're making our way back to where they used to keep all the dumpsters and the trash compact area. And over the fence there, you can kind of see that steel structure in the distance. That would have been the the water test bays.
This is a trip. Does it say concept on the wall?
Yeah, so that building would have been building number 8, and when it was originally built, they used it for chassis prep when we were still buying Gillig chassis in 95 or so, and then the Intrigue product line was introduced in that building. That's where the Intrigues were very first built, the products like my coach. And that's actually, I remember those days when the news came out here and we had a couple Magnas and some concepts all sitting out there, and that building was all brand new and glistening. And yep, it was a time when they were doing some expansion, and the next year they brought out the Allure, and so they had brought out 2 new products besides the Magna and the Affinity, and the third, the Concept, the custom coach, and that was in that building there.
So what's going on right here, bud? What are we looking at here? These look like
they're molds for front cap corners. You can actually see this still has,
oh yeah, like the lighting, and yeah, you can see
the lighting's all mocked up, and you can actually see the fiberglass chunk sitting in that. And that's the way fiberglass molds are done. You actually lay the glass in there, and then you mount all your brackets, and you got all your jigs so you know where everything's mounting up right. You can see these magnets actually hold that bracket while the epoxy dries, so it's in the right place every single time. And you can see they flip over onto here, and then you've got, this is the very front generator mask cover for a Winnebago product, and it looks like another one there, and a couple more front cap sections for Winnebago.
a lot going on here this morning. Little Airstream. They do storage here. Now this facility right over here, you were telling me this used to be parking?
Yeah, so all this area back here used to be parking back in the production days, and you went along the side there, and that was the road in and out, and we just stacked cars in here. At the high point at times we had over 1,500 employees, so we'd fill this there. We had a problem with people starting to park on the street, so the city had to put up signs and whatnot, and We ended up having to stagger the exit time so that way we wouldn't have as bad a traffic, and finally got things dialed in. It was pretty hectic. It was sweet. I mean, we were building a lot of coaches at the time. We were building probably almost 14 a week.
Wow.
Between all the production lines that we had.
Wow.
They were pumping them out.
Now, so this is all totally different. They just built something on this property.
Yeah, we ended up, when Gary and Louie bought this property, it included that property, and they ended up selling part of it over here to the Cosmo Corn guys. And they've actually expanded. I think they're working on right now getting into the tortilla chip manufacturing also.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys get a deal on the Cosmo chips or what?
Well, time to time we get a little Cosmo Corn kicked down to us, but we don't ask for it too much.
Right, right.
It's always good to keep your neighbors on the plus, not be a beggar.
Exactly, absolutely. That's why I'm gonna be unhooking my 50 amp soon and keep going. I've been mooch stocking for a while here, but. So what's going on back here? So we're looking at like big buildings, there's racks and stuff. I'm gonna see if I can get a zoom on that rack back there. What's all going on back there?
So that big rack steel assembly that's right next to that building, that's actually was the water test bay. And so that's all plumbed with sprayers throughout, and then a water catch system, and then a pump to recycle the water. So you pull a coach straight in there and then it'd blast it from every angle. QC people would be inside while they were blasting it with water for an hour or plus, and flashlights making sure slide rooms weren't leaking, and then they'd pull them out and check all the bays and make sure none of the bays were leaking and anything like that. So that's what that bay there was for. And then in the very back, that building 14, that's where all the alignments were done, and that's where the dyno machine was that we tested all the chassis on and whatnot was back there.
What about that one big building right there, like kind of?
I don't know exactly what that was for. Some sort of.
Looks like it only put like one coach or something,
Yeah.
or. Yeah. I think we got about a complete tour. That's probably going to be about an hour-long video. Might be my longest video, but Brian, I can't thank you enough for showing me and the folks on YouTube this incredible facility, so much RV history, and kind of explaining everything happened with Country Coach, and that I think that answers a lot of questions for a lot of people. So greatly appreciate all of you watching these videos, liking these videos, subscribing to the channel. And I'm really thinking you should get a YouTube channel going, buddy. What do you
I'm looking at it. I'm pondering.
How many comments do we need that'll say that you're going to subscribe to get you to start a comment? If we get, how many people do you need to start a YouTube channel?
Oh man, he's throwing me under the bus. 25 comments. Yeah,
25.
25
we need
comments.
25. No, it takes 1,000 subscribers to get monetized. So we need 20. We need at least 250 comments.
Right.
If 250 of you comment for Brian to get a YouTube channel,
then we're a quarter of the way there. We know we got some gold.
Yeah, I think we do. Hey, I greatly appreciate all of you. Brian's got to get back to work. Hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Hey, thanks everybody. Enjoy your day. Enjoy.